Moving on, I would like to introduce our next speaker for the day. That is Mr. Akshal Agarwal from NatureNurture. Mr. Akshal Agarwal is a distinguished lawyer with a remarkable academic and professional background. He completed his education at prestigious institutions including Harvard, the Indian School of Business, and the National Law University, Mumbai. Although he hails from a business family, Akshal is a first-generation lawyer, having achieved an impressive All India ranking of 13 in the law entrance exams. His interests span academics, leadership, and sports, reflecting his diverse talents and dedication to excellence. May I request Mr. Akshal Agarwal to come on the stage and address the gathering. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Akshal Agarwal from NatureNurture.
I invite you to rise up, all of you, so we can do a little bit of a refresher, so we can be in the moment. And this is something I learned from my friends in Africa. When we have to prepare for any mental exercise, we have to prepare our mind just like we prepare food. So what they say is, they do pasha, 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 which means that you're lighting something up, you do pasha, 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 and then when fire comes, you do choma, right? So we do pasha, 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 choma. So all of you, I want you to speak with me. Light up your mind. Pasha, 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 choma. Okay, thank you so much. I think now, just like the food is made with fire, all of us are little intrigued to learn a little bit more about what we can do with our young learners every single day. So as the gentleman just introduced, my name is Akshal Agarwal. I have a background in law. I've done my law from National Law University, Mumbai. I went to business school at the Indian School of Business in Hyderabad, and I did my master's in education from Harvard. And that is when I decided that outside law, outside business, I want to make my entire career in education, serving schools with one single goal. Each one of you, many of you, are experts in making your brick and mortar. Everyone does a fantastic job in making a wonderful brick and mortar. But how do we convert a brick and mortar space into a learning ecosystem? That's something that I want to discuss with you. Over the last 25 years, my mother was very unhappy when she was looking for a school for me. She was deeply saddened by the quality of learning outcomes, and being a child development expert herself, she said that 20% of what I will do will happen in school. 80% of what I learned, which is relevant for me in the 21st century, she built for me. And in this 25 years, along with my mother, we've built a competency-driven program based on these core 8 principles that actually define the learning ecosystem of the school. So let's dive into it. A child who is coming to our school in 2024 will graduate in the year 2050. And they will probably enter the job market much later. And the types of jobs that that child will do will be very different than what you and I are doing. They will graduate in a world where all of these challenges of cyber dependency, income inequality, climate change will be there. And the jobs that they will do will be jobs of the future, not jobs of today. And therefore, our role as schools is to prepare them for these jobs of the future. This is something that my team and I continuously track. What the World Education Forum prescribes will be the jobs of the future. And based on that, I have developed a 6-step process that makes every school a learning ecosystem. This is something that we have built over 25 years of research. With me being the first victim, I was the first test patient that my mother experimented all of this on. Now over 350 schools use it. And regardless of what curriculum, regardless of what board, what material you use, if you're following these 6 steps, you can make your children excel. When you reach Harvard, the first thing they will teach you is effectively these steps on how children learn. Let's go about it. First and foremost, we look at the curriculum framework. What is it the National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023 has prescribed that we need to achieve? There are about 135 curricular goals, all of which we have to include in our program. Based on that, for each and every year, we prescribe learning goals across all of these domains. We have been used to English, Hindi, maths, and sciences that we've been doing in our classrooms, but right from kindergarten, Over 28 domains we have to integrate into our program so that our children can be ready for the 21st century. For example, with maths, we teach financial literacy. With English, we teach gender equality. With thematic learning, we teach design and technology. And all of this that you see on screen become equal learning outcomes in our program. This becomes your syllabus, much beyond just your English, Hindi, maths. All of those resources we have built, but coupled them with a multitude of resources. And at the beginning of the year, we prescribe a learning outcomes document like this for each school, uniquely around your demography, listing out your entire goals for the year. Based on this, we then create materials and resources, materials that your teachers will use, that your parents will use, and your learners will use. When we first started out and tried to create all of these learning outcomes, we realized that material doesn't exist for financial literacy in kindergarten, for gender equality in kindergarten. So our team of about 125 researchers and PhDs have built these materials throughout the year. We start with a parenting program. The child is born as a child, but the parent needs to be taught to become a parent. So we begin with resources where we teach parents that this is a parenting resource, and in our parenting trainings, how to be a parent. Based on that, we have resources for the educators. Now, educators are also restless. The child is coming for the first time. Many of them are new educators. How is it that I get ready for the first day of school? So we've built an entire transition program so they can settle into the school. And for the learners, we have built a whole range of books and resources, thematically planned and integrated across domains. So in the books, for example, when we do cooking time, if that is one of the themes, and we are learning about things in the kitchen, we show mama and papa in the kitchen and we ask a simple question to the learners. Who does the cooking at home and who goes to the office? And sometimes our educators, our female educators, standing in their own office, they will say that, okay, mama's job is to do cooking and papa's going to the office, even though the educator herself is standing in her own office. So with simple triggers, we say that mama and papa have divided their roles. Even papa can do the cooking at home and mama can go to the office, and vice versa. So that is how we have integrated domains like gender equality within the program. Financial literacy. Can we teach our 3-year-old or 4-year-old to be financially literate? How do we do that? If we are teaching about a theme on holidays and we ask them that you can take only 5 items with you and you have to make choices. What is your need? What is your want? And what do you take with you? That is how we have integrated financial literacy within the program. Resilience and many other domains. So a bunch of curriculum support educational software is part of our program along with the books. Wherever we feel we need to integrate a little bit of learning through videos for our audiovisual learners, that's part of the program. Along with it, for every classroom, bunch of curriculum support educational aids. You know, when I first started out, we already give them to you so that the teacher's time is saved. We are still at step 3, ladies and gentlemen. And along with it now, then we move to the 4th step. First, we looked at the framework. Based on that, we made our syllabus and outcomes. Based on that syllabus, we made all the materials that the parents will use, learners will use, and the children will use, and the school will use. And based on that, we move to step 4. How all of this will work in your classroom? How will it work? So around your school's timetable, we create a detailed weekly schedule map, which will tell at the beginning of the day what we have to do, what resource we have to use, what lesson plan we have to use, what book page we have to do. And the beauty of this document is not in what you see, is what you do not see, is that it is customized for each and every school, around your school's timetable, around your school's calendar to represent it all. And many schools advertise themselves saying that we are a Waldorf school or a Montessori school or we are a 21st century learning school. Over 80 different pedagogies from across the world have gone into the program. Anything that you see, anything that you do, you can question what is the research behind it, and we'll be happy to supply that. Over 80 different pedagogies, because children will not just learn by Montessori. They will not just learn by Waldorf or by John Dewey or by Erickson. They will learn through a combination of all of them. That's what our program is all about. And in each lesson plan, we pick up cues that your educators come up and say, Today you make a lesson plan on ChatGPT, they will make it for you. But the beauty of lesson plans is community building. What teacher A is saying, you're telling teacher B. What teacher B is saying, you're telling teacher C, and it becomes a collaborative lesson plan in the process. And for 3 days, this is our partnership with Harvard University and Stanford University. All schools that associate with us, we do a leadership training for their senior management and schools in a module called a school model canvas. How do you run the business of a school without losing the impact? That's something that we have developed with Stanford University. How do you lose and convert admissions without losing your mission statement, without becoming a sales organization? We build that leadership experiences. And then, based on that, we come to step 5, which is assessment. We have put in so much effort in material, in instruction. Is it all working? How do we know? So first and foremost, we do a systemic assessment. We ask the management to audit us. Have we given you all that we have promised? Second, we audit the educators. That this is the teaching learning process we want to follow. Are we delivering on those lines? Then we audit the parents very subtly. Are they supporting the learning at home? And finally, we come to the audit of the learners. Now, your holistic progress cards by CBSE are talking about assessment as learning, peer assessment. We've been doing that for 10 years, where we have formative assessment, summative assessment, as well as self and peer assessment. So all of the audit forms, the teaching learning process checklist, as well as the question papers come for us. And based on that, each individual tile's report card we are making so that everything is working together. And we maintain an iteration sheet. Now the problem with most solutions are that I will come and prescribe to you, follow this. But it may not work in your school. Then what? People prescribe that their programs are perfect. My program is not perfect. It has flaws. Therefore, we maintain an iteration sheet. Whenever your educators face a challenge, they put it on this sheet. Either they convince us or we convince them that what is in the larger interest of the child. And therefore, it is a democratic program for each and every school. And then the final step, 6 out of 6. What do we do if things are not working right? Intervention. We provide diagnostic and remedial intervention at the school level as well as the child level to solve for this. We used to run a chain of multidisciplinary clinics where you used to have children across delayed developmental milestones. We have brought that expertise into the schooling system. So if you have children who need special attention, who need some individualized education plans, we make it into the system. And that completes the broad 6 steps of our program. And any learning ecosystem, no matter what program you have publisher books, you have your own books, it doesn't matter. You have to follow these 6 steps. That's what the research says from across the world. And our program, which we only offer at the foundational stage, and the child has to grow with us. It's working beautifully in cities, it's working beautifully in rural towns, and it is something that we've put a lot of heart and soul into. So I'm outside here for a conversation. We don't do much sales or marketing. We try to meet schools organically, talk to them about their problems, and see if there is a good fit. So I'll be happy to talk about it. I've chosen this entire field for myself, leaving our paper business, leaving my law education, leaving my business education, because I feel very passionate about the power of education. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm here for a conversation with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akshal Agarwal. I would now request Mr. Anil Sharma to please join us on stage to felicitate Mr. Akshal Agarwal from NatureNurture. Ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Akshal Agarwal. Thank you so much. I would request Mr. Anil Sharma to kindly stay on the stage to give away